We are at the Stepan Avagyan Memorial here in Jermuk, Armenia. With the white pieces, we have Praggnanandhaa. With the black pieces, we have the one of the top Uzbek players, Nodirbek Yakubboev. And Pragg is going to be is the top seed of the tournament. He's playing here along with Arvind Chidambaram. They both are 2700 plus players. The remaining players are below 2700 but very strong, like Yakubboev. They shake hands here, and we are about to begin. Pragg adjusts all his pieces. We have a slightly different camera angle here. I hope you like this one. Pragg until now has started off with 3 draws in 3 rounds. So this is the 4th one that he is playing, and now gets into the zone, opens the game with 1d4. Yakubboev, his rating is 2659, but on a given day he can play about 2750. I feel he won the Qatar Masters, he's won several tournaments, he's super strong, and plays his pawn to d5. It won't be easy to beat him, and Pragg also will be looking to press e3 here. So Pragg chooses a very interesting opening. I think what he doesn't want to do is go into these main lines of Queen's Gambit, nor did he want to play the London or the Jobawa London. He's just played it very, very unambitiously, I must say. And now knight to c3. Very interesting choice, because generally when you play knight c3, your bishop is out there on f4. c5. Nodirbek is like, I just like my position here. Pawn takes pawn by Pragg. Bishop takes. And I believe he will be trying to push his pawn to e4 at some point. Castles here. One of the main things about these top players, we assume that they just play good chess, but I feel like what they also do very well is choose openings against specific opponents. They know the mindset of their opponent. They try to guess what would be the most uncomfortable for them, and you can see like Pragg already seems to have gotten a very small edge out of the opening, playing something really not mainstream. Bishop d6 played. Can we go e4 now? Yes, pawn to e4. Yakubboev now has to tread carefully. He pushes his pawn to d4. If Pragg goes back to e2, maybe he wants to play e5 and gain even more space in the center. Well, he goes bishop c7. I guess to e5, Pragg had something like knight d4, pawn takes e5 with this pin on the e file coming up. So bishop c7, c3, breaking the center. Pawn takes on c3. And now that the bishop is hanging, you take back with the bishop here, opening up the diagonal. And pawn comes up to a6. Pragg gets his knight now. He's looking forward to using his slight lead in development. Bishop d7 played. And Pragg goes queen to e2. Castling here is a bit risky because of e5 opening up this bishop. So Nodirbek trying to exercise more control on the e5 square. King goes to h1. And probably the idea is just that later on you want to get f4 in. Knight takes knight. I think bishop takes makes sense. Ooh, he takes back with the knight. Aha, that's the point. Now bishop h2 is not a check. If you snatch this pawn, I can just play g3, trapping the bishop. So short castle here by Yakubboev. And Pragg brings his rook into the center with rook a e1. And maybe e5 somewhere is on the cards. Rook e8 played. Should we go e5? Yes, pawn to e5. Knight jumps to d5. You don't want to be giving up this bishop. So bishop d2 makes total sense, I believe. Oh, he goes queen e4. Well, Pragg is like, hey, I'm coming at you here on h7. g6 played, preventing the queen from attacking on h7. And now bishop d2. I do feel white's position is really good, but black somehow seems to have, kept the balance, has a beautiful square for the knight. The bishop later can settle on c6. Queen g4 now. If Pragg can get something like h4, h5 rolling, that could be something. Queen e7. And now Pragg has taken off his jacket. Queen f8. Yakubboev currently playing it calmly, keeps his queen around the king. Bishop c4. Yes, to get rid of this knight could be priority number one. To get these dark squares. Now bishop c6 played. I think Pragg's advantage growing. Oof, he doesn't take. Well, he could have taken here and spoiled the structure, but he decides to play bishop b3. Bishop d8, offering a trade. And Pragg goes a bit wrong here. He goes rook c1. And this drops his advantage. Because now you can take, and play your knight back to e7, defending c6. Yes, taking the dark squared bishop makes sense. Queen takes. And Yakubboev first kicks the queen away with h6. Pragg brings his queen back to g3. I like how when Pragg makes a move, he kind of presses it on that square. Like if you see now, he pushes his pawn to h4. Time-wise, Pragg has 20 minutes on the clock. Yakubboev has 4 minutes 47 seconds. Here there is 30 minutes increment after 40 moves. Bishop takes d5. Bishop takes d5. Pragg has kind of lost all his advantage now. And the position is nothing special. Black seems to be completely fine. g5 and Yakubboev now playing with confidence, pushing his pawn forward. h5 by Pragg. But somewhere, Pragg can continue playing. One of his ideas was to go with his knight here into the f6 square, but f5, bit risky there by Yakubboev. He was feeling a bit cramped for space, so he gave up a pawn. I mean, he spoiled his structure. He's not given up a pawn. Knight e3. And this is a risky moment for Yakubboev because he's down to 1 minute on the clock, 6 moves to make. And generally, this is where mistakes happen. Queen b2 taken here. Pragg has to decide whether to take the rook, play rook b1. He takes on c8. Rook takes c8. Maybe rook b1 was slightly better. And now, do we go knight g4? Oh, he takes the bishop as well. Wow. This is amazing. Pragg is a pawn down, but still goes into this endgame. I'm not sure what his point is. Queen d6. He's attacking d5 and h6. Oof. Oof, oof. Amazing. Rook c1. Yakubboev is like, Pragg, do you want to go into pawn endgame? Then you lose this game. And Pragg has to be careful here. But he has 8 minutes. He gives a check. 38th move now. The king has to move. King f8. Time to chop one pawn. Queen takes h6. Takes it. Queen takes h6 on the board. Yakubboev moves his king up. Now this precarious rook showdown on the last rank. How do we deal with that? King f8. Gives another check. King e8. Check. King f8. Check. King e8. Ooh. What's happening here? Is Pragg going for a draw? King g1 played. Yakubboev now has 34 minutes while Pragg has come down to 21 minutes. Queen a1 played. It feels like Pragg in his bid to win isn't able to find it. And while he has a draw, so there's nothing to worry about. it will be interesting to see how Pragg tries to play for a win here. King e8. If you take, again the problem here is Queen g6 check. Now Pragg down to 11 minutes. And Yakubboev is wasting no time in making his moves. Pragg now takes. Wow, and he looks at his opponent. He's like, I'm ready to fight. Nodirbek, I am not here to make a draw. King h2. He goes up. And now the queen comes in with a check. And you can't go up because of mate. You can't come down because of perpetual. So g3 played. Now think about it, guys. Pragg is now a pawn down in this queen endgame. He's ready to play it. He's ready to play this. Insane. What a guy. And Yakubboev is like, time for me to start pushing my queenside pawns while Pragg is getting ready to make his own queen here. Oh my goodness. But Pragg's time down to 10, but also Yakubboev now down to 10 minutes. This is wild. Queen g5, Pragg takes pawn. Now equal pawns. Threats like queen d8 check in the air. Queen f1. Let's move up the king. Where to go? King h4, king g4. All right now drawn. Position is drawn. Check is the best move. Yes, check. King g4. Now check. But maybe queen e4 check. That's a better move, yeah. I was wondering if queen f4 check, but now takes. This is a draw. So Pragg decides to keep the queens. He goes king h5. Now, important to give this check. Blunders with queen h1. Important was this check, not letting the king enter. He goes in king g6. But I think Yakubboev felt there is a check, so he doesn't have to worry. But now there's a counter check. And the only difference between blocking with the queen on f4 and f5 is that you are one square ahead. Pragg calculating here, 1 minute he thought, and he played queen f5. Beautiful move. King g8, you couldn't have taken. Takes was lost. And now a very important move, g4 has to be found again. Pragg finds it. Wow. This guy is an absolute beast. Queen e8 check, because like white was simply improving his position. So king g5 now. And once again, now look at it. Another check, I believe, or check from e3. Where to give the check from? Goes queen e7. If you go king h5 here, then I think you can already start pushing the pawns. So Pragg goes with his queen in. Again, just pulling down the piece there on the f6 square. Taking is lost. So check. Four minutes for Pragg, 7 minutes for Nodirbek. This is as intense as it can get. King comes up to h4. And now there is only check left, which is queen e1. Nodirbek does play it. Now do we go up? King h5. Yes, king h5 on the board. Check. And now, do we go king g5 here or king g6? He goes king g5. One more check. Queen c1. King g6. But now there's another check. Queen c2. Are we running out of checks here, or does, wow, queen f5 blocking? Of course, taking here is lost. I'll take check and then just queen. So check, one more check. It seems like the reign of checks will never end. King h5. Now the only check left is queen e8. But if you go queen e8 check, I have queen g6. And then I trade and I win. What the hell did Pragg do? What black magic is this? His king is now having no checks. I mean, opponent has no checks. Look at Pragg there, rocking in his chair. He's enjoying himself in this endgame. Queen f7. Actually, you can take. Queen takes f7. And now a very important moment after king f7. Don't push your pawn. Because a5 and it's a draw. Because check and king f6. So you need to start with king g5. Finds it. King g5. a5 played. And now king f5 with the idea of g6. He goes there. The interesting part now is that after b4, if you take and black takes back, you can actually stop this pawn. So when Pragg takes, Yakubboev has to give up the pawn with a4. But he's queening now. He's queening. What does Pragg do? g5. Pragg's pawns are faster or this pawn is faster? a3. Just 2 steps away. Check. This is queening now. So king g8. Pragg has everything calculated here. King g8. King f6. Beautiful move. You can see the king comes in this diagonal as well. But the point, of course, is h7. When king goes to h8, g7 check. Found it. King h7, king f7. You make a queen and he resigns. Queen here. And it's a checkmate. Whoa. What a game this was by Praggnanandhaa. Just outstanding game. Pragg's endgame technique, will to win, so powerful. And he took time when he got those extra 30 minutes, thought through it. He kept playing on one wrong check by Yakubboev. And it was all that Pragg needed to convert this. This was as good a queen endgame that you will see. Reminds us sometimes of those Magnus queen endgames that Pragg has played. This win actually kick-started Pragg's rise to the top in this tournament. He then managed to beat Benjamin Gledura in round 6 and Aram Hakobian in round 7 and is now on 5 points out of 7. He is leading the tournament by half a point ahead of his countrymate Arvind Chidambaram. What a phenomenal performance this was by Pragg.
Hi Pragg, you're here in Jermuk and after 5 rounds you have 3 out of 5. You just drew your game right now, but yesterday you had a very nice win against Yakubboev. What are your thoughts about these first 5 rounds and especially your win yesterday?
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed because I could have had a half a point more if I'd beaten Jonas, and I had multiple chances for a big advantage and I missed all of them. So but apart from that, with black games I haven't been getting any chances. So yesterday should have been a draw because I defended pretty well, and then there was this moment where I had to decide if I should go for it or just make a draw, and I decided
after queen a1.
There are 2 options basically. One is queen c8, which should also be risk free, but I didn't think I was going to win that. If black just starts pushing, it should be a draw. So the other one was this, which could backfire quite easily because you miss one check, then it's just over. If you miscalculate one move, it's just over. So I had to be careful there. But there was also some risk for black. So I think it just worked my way.
And Pragg, like your opening in this tournament, I think you have been getting very good positions from the opening. I think that's one thing that has worked really well for you so far, right?
Yeah, overall my opening prep is good. So I think that's the reason. But saying that, 2 black games I just didn't play, so I don't know if it was a good prep or not. I would have very much liked to play a game in both the games, but today also I didn't get to play much. It was just, I don't know, maybe I could have tried something else, but I didn't see it. It was quite solid for him. Maybe if I was not the best, considering the situation, E5 was not ideal.
And then he took on C6, and that endgame was very equal.
Yeah.
And yesterday we are I'm sure you watched Gukesh had a crazy game against Magnus. What were your thoughts like about that game?
Yeah, I was watching it live. I was watching with the video, so yeah, it was quite interesting because after, I think there was this easy win with bishop e4 instead of knight h3. Yeah, after that I felt, I mean, there itself I was feeling that, I mean, this is not going to be easy because, I mean, this is not usual Magnus. He usually converts without any difficulty. Yeah, that one moment sort of felt that maybe, maybe it's possible to defend, and Gukesh defended very well. And okay, with this time control, they're basically playing rapid. Even there, Magnus is like usually plays the best move. So yeah, it was surprising what happened, but I think
and the finish was also,
yeah, credit should also be given to Gukesh because he was defending very well, and also finding this, knight c5, knight a4, knight b2. All these things are not so obvious with 10 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, Pragg, thanks a lot for this, and 4 more rounds. So good luck.
Thank you.